everyone, welcome back. It's Jen with BPD Woman, and I wanted to give a brief update on the last video that I did, which it was entitled, It's All My Fault, Catastrophizing When You Have BPD. It is now about 3 hours, about 2.5, 3 hours since I posted that last video. And if you remember, I was a bit worried that I had not heard from a client who I thought may or may not be happy with my services and was not going to hire me anymore. So it turns out that, and as a brief recap, those of us with BPD have a lower self-esteem, tend to worry, and we sometimes will act on these behaviors that get us into more trouble rather than getting us to our goal. So because of an inability to sometimes validate the self, because of low self-esteem, worry, black and white thinking, we often use internalization and personalized thinking, which basically means, if it rains, it's my fault. If that person scowls, it's my fault. They don't like me. Because we're so revved up into thinking that way, which can be really linked to low self-worth and self-esteem. So my instinct was to send another text. Hey, are you going to hire me again? Are you mad at me? That worry kicked in. Instead, I used the stop technique. Stop, take a step back, proceed mindfully, take a step back, stop, take a step back, observe the situation, what you're feeling, what's going on, and P is for proceed mindfully. I said I was not going to send another text until the payment cutoff time came at 5 p.m. So I was out, so I followed through on that. I didn't send another text. I reminded myself, you're good, you're a great worker, you take excellent care of animals. I reread my texts again to her. Nothing seemed out of place. So as I'm walking with a friend during just walking my dog outside, I look down, I get a text at around 2:30. So this is about 6-7 hours since I sent the initial text to her for the invoice for payment. And it is now about 2.5 hours before payment is due. And she said, hey, any chance you could walk the dog 3 times this week instead of 1? So what a great payoff. Not only do I feel a sense of mastery that I didn't act right away, that I used the stop technique, that I distracted myself, that I didn't give in to my feelings of personalization and low self-worth, that I challenged my distorted thinking. And instead of saying to myself, you're worthless, you're a piece of shit, that I said, you're great. Who knows why she hasn't texted? Just wait it out. See what happens. But you did okay. You are okay with you. Look at the sun coming in as I said that. You are okay with you. And what a great reminder. And look at the payoff now of that. Wow, that sounds really coming in. Look at the payoff of that. I didn't get myself into anxious trouble. I didn't tip my hat to her that I was worried, showing her that I have a lower sense of worth. I didn't create any shame in myself, doing any actions that I wouldn't have felt proud of. And now I've booked more visits. So it was the complete opposite of the situation that I was interpreting negatively, right? It would be one thing to, I guess the opposite of catastrophizing would be to think that everything's great all of the time. And in this case, I thought, well, she isn't going to hire me again, but it turns out she wants to hire me more. What a payoff. So this is the payoff using these skills gives you. I feel great. I feel so energized and masterful right now. And it gets easier with practice. The initial waiting, the first 10, 20, 30, 100 times that you may do this, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel foreign. It's going to feel very different to you. It's going to be difficult. But the more you do it, the more experience you have behind you that, oh, that one time that I thought she was going to be mad at me, she turned out not to be mad at me. And once you get 5, 10, 25 kinds of experiences like that behind you, you walk around with a little bit more self-confidence of your interpretation of events, right? And the acting on a new behavior becomes more intrinsic and natural to you. In a previous video, I wrote out one of the ways to combat catastrophic thinking is to create a worry list. And when you have a worry, write it down in your phone. Make 2 columns. Write it down in your phone. And the worry will be, she doesn't like me, she's never going to hire me again. I haven't heard back from him on a text because he's not interested in me. My doctor hasn't called me yet because my test results are really bad and I'm going to die. Now write the reality, what really happened category. The idea here is to challenge your worry. So the worry is, she doesn't like me, she's never going to hire me again, that's why I haven't heard from her. The reality is, she wants to hire me more, and she was probably just not texting me right away because she was finalizing her schedule, okay? The doctor hasn't called me yet because I'm going to die. Did that happen? The challenge here would be, no, the results just weren't in because they're backed up with COVID tests, right? I hope this has been helpful. It does work. These tasks do work. These skills do work. You have to keep at it. And I hope that I can be of help to you while you accomplish your goals. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a update of BPD Woman. Bye-bye.